Okay, again, we will be talking about the different benefits of heritage tourism, not only social, but we'll be talking about later the economic benefits of heritage tourism, and also partly we'll touch on the political benefits of heritage tourism. Okay, so for this morning, again, this is where we will be revolving our discussion. Okay, so we'll be starting with the different social benefits of heritage tourism. Okay, so before anything else, we already know what heritage tourism is, that it has great connection with cultural tourism, right? So because of heritage tourism and cultural tourism, it allows different localities, be it municipality or cities in the Philippines, to open up their tourism industry because they would invest or they would capitalize on the heritage that they have or the cultural sites that they have, no? But aside from that, potentially these mas makikita natin yung economic benefit ng heritage tourism. More than that, I think what you should be cognizant with or be aware with are the different social benefits of heritage tourism. Okay? Number one, when you talk about social, we're talking about the relationship of people, no? And also our well-being as a human being, no? So what are the different benefits, social benefits of heritage tourism? Number one, providing opportunities for informal learning. Okay? I think we have touched this on the very first part of our discussion. But medyo napahapyawan lang natin, no? But what do we mean by this informal learning? Okay. According to the explanatory note, the opportunity to walk in our ancestors' footsteps and learn from their mistakes and successes can be a valuable part of our social education. When you are walking along a famous trail, it doesn't feel like you're just learning about people who lived long ago. Heritage sites are places that welcome visitors, not ghosts. Okay, so we are talking about informal learning, no? So ganito in class. As a tourism management student, we always subscribe to the idea that there is always what we call formal and informal learning. Formal learning takes place in a classroom like this. No, even if we are meeting via Zoom, this is still a classroom, an online classroom. But formal learning takes place really in a classroom. Formal learning takes place in an environment where there is an educator, there is a teacher presenting you class different instructional materials, which would also involve assessment of students and also determination of the weaknesses and strengths of students and addressing those weaknesses with academic interventions. All right? So that's what you mean by formal learning. Nasa loob ka ng klase, may teacher ka, yung teacher mo, tinuturuan ka at inaalam kung ano pa yung mga hindi mo natututunan at iyon ang ituturo niya. That's formal learning. But one social benefit of heritage tourism is it allows us or it gives us an opportunity to have this what we call informal learning. Okay, from the explanatory note, it is very clear that informal learning is actually acquiring lessons or taking lessons from what happened in the past, from what happened to our ancestors, and determine probably what could have been done in order for that story to be perfect. At yun ang hindi na natin gagawin. Or I mean, pag nalaman natin kung ano yung maling ginawa ng mga ancestors natin, siguro pwedeng magiging lesson yun sa atin na dapat pala hindi yun nila ginawa. Something like that, no? So, it's an opportunity to walk in our ancestors' footsteps. Diba? When you go to Intramuros in Manila, no, you will be seeing several sites there that has something to do with the history of our country, with how our heroes defended our country and how these colonizers victimized and, you know, tortured the Filipino people. And that alone, by looking at it and by getting to know its history, it allows us to walk in our ancestors' footsteps. Parang nilalagay natin yung sarili natin sa kanila. We empathize with them, right? So, in your tour, in your upcoming tour, when you go to Baguio, when you go to Ilocos, for example, when you go to Pampanga, there will be several heritage sites there that probably you can learn from, no? So when you go to Ilocos, let's say you go to Cali, Crisologo, and then there's this tour guide that will tell you about it, no? Na nung panahon pala, ito yung dinadaanan, ito yung ginagawa ng mga tao noon, etc. You try to imagine, no? You try to make yourself part of the story by reimagining what happened in the past. And that is informal learning. And this is also basically the reason why, class, it's important that you have exposure activities such as tours. No, because your tours would allow you to expand your knowledge not only or beyond formal learning or beyond classroom, right? These these exposure activities will also allow you to understand that the industry is far beyond greeting guests, no? The industry is very flexible, the industry is very broad, it's very extensive to the point that even these old houses is still part of the industry, that it still can cater to the needs of the tourist. Na kung yung mga turista, 'di ba, sabi natin, if they are if they are purposeful cultural tourists. What do you mean by purposeful cultural tourist? Remember, purposeful cultural tourists are those people na yung pinaka-pinunta talaga nila is the culture of the place. So, if you really capitalize on this at hindi mo inaalagaan yung lugar mo, 'di ba? So wala ka ng pag-asa yung lugar mo to develop as a tourist destination. And by having exposure activities such as your upcoming tour, it will make you realize na pwede naman pala na mag-innovate ang isang destination na yung mga old sites niya or attractions niya pwedeng i-convert into a potential income generating project such as part of the umbrella of the tourism industry. Okay, so again, it's informal learning. So I think there is a necessity for parents, for students as well, to understand that educational tours, not only for tourism students, but for other courses, for other programs, benchmarking activities, going to different places, visiting corporate companies, or visiting different companies, I mean, visiting different offices, getting to know the operations of the industry is not just a matter of luxury. It's not a matter of kaartehan, but it is a way of what we call informal learning. It is another way of acquiring knowledge, of acquiring or of expanding our horizon when it comes to the industry that you're getting into. Okay? So hopefully by at the end of your tour, class, by next week, you will be more enlightened, no, na yung industriya natin ay hindi lang kung ano yung pagkakaintindi ninyo sa four corners of your classroom. The industry is bigger than you thought. Okay? So, pag for example, of course, the first part of the tour is the transportation industry, right? So sa transportation pala, makikita ninyo, there is already informal learning that takes place there. Okay? By the way, I'm just interjecting this because I need to process this out to you so that prior to your tour, it will be clearer on your part why you are conducting tour. Because I understand that your tour would involve 3 subjects, correct? The transportation management, heritage tourism, and gastronomical tourism, right? So, if these are the 3 subjects that are involved in this tour, might as well you understand how to evaluate and assess your tour. Na pag nasa transportation ka, if you are in a bus to traveling, it's more than the hours of travel, but it's how you understand the role of transportation in terms of ensuring that the guests or tourists goes from one point to another. Okay? And then also the services provided by the motor coach captain or the driver and probably the tour guide if we have. Okay. So ganun siya, class, no? There is a necessity for informal learning aside from formal learning. Can I get a thumbs up if that is clear to everyone? Is that clear? Okay. Sige. Sana hindi pa kayo mga nakahiga, kayo talaga. Okay. So number 2, create social cohesion. Okay? So clear sa atin yung number 1, no? So number 2 tayo. Create social cohesion. Much has been written about how tourism bring people together. Visiting places like museums, historic homes, etc. can help foster a sense of community and social cohesion in a country or region. This is especially important as a nation's population ages. Okay, so dito na lang tayo mag-focus sa first 2 sentences, no? So, siguro naman clear sa atin, class, no, na ang industriya ng tourism, 'di ba sabi nga ni Pope John Paul II about the industry, ang tourism industry daw, class, it becomes a bridge for people, no, from different nationality to come together as a community. That's how the Pope describes the industry. That's how the Pope actually describes the importance of why people should travel, because we make one community when we travel. Okay. Parati kong gagawing example, class, yung upcoming tour, no? Because I think talaga naniniwala ako na kailangan proseso muna sa inyo yung rationale ng tour. Pag nandun na kayo, madali na lang, no? Yung pag-link, pag-reconcile ng lessons at the same time, class, your tour, the exposure activity. So, what do you mean by this social cohesion, sir? Alam namin na, pagpupunta kami doon, makakausap namin sila. But I don't see but I don't think, sir, it will be a cohesion. Kasi ang pag-cohesion, class, parang glue siya, no? Ang glue, pag dinikit mo siya, mahirap na siyang alisin. That's cohesion. Okay? So, when we go, class, to kahit nga travel pa lang, kunyari when we dine in, for example, at a restaurant, okay, so you will be talking not only to the crew, but you will also be talking, we might talk also with other people there, including the other people who are also dining in. You will get to know who they are, where they came from, or where they are coming from, the reason why they will be visiting the place that they opt to visit, something like that. And this kind of informal conversation and encounters would be part, no, of fostering a sense of community, na magpaparamdam natin din sa kanila na they are not alone in their pursuit to explore the Philippines, to explore the different attractions in our country. Na parte tayo ng isang komunidad na naglalayo na malaman, no, kung ano-ano itong mga attractions na ito, at maging pamilyar tayo sa sa iba't ibang destinasyon ng Pilipinas, and understand also the different types of tourists as far as the destination is concerned. Pumupunta pala sa Manila ganitong mga klase ng tao. Pupunta pala sa Ilocos yung mga taong ganito din yung purpose nila, no? So it's one description or probably justification of social cohesion. What else? When we go to Ilocos, for example, and when we visit the different sites, we will get to encounter the local government unit, will get to encounter the host community of the place. And that alone, our encounter with them is already a manifestation that we empathize with them, that we want to be part of their community, not as a citizen of the place, not as a constituent of the place, but as a person who is willing to help them and extend the hand in terms of informing other people of what they have. No? And I think as a tourism management student, it is only but vital that you, class, kayong lahat dapat ay nagiging instrumento para malaman ng ibang tao kung ano yung mga atraksyon ng ating bansa. Okay? So, ganun yun, class. No? Dapat, ang pinaka-goal ng isang tourism management student is to help its locality, particularly where you came from. So let's say, for example, if you came from Iriga, if you came from Nabwa, if you came from Pulangi, if you came from Baao, Bato, Bula, etc., dapat yun muna yung maging role ninyo. Make sure na kaya nyong ma-advertise yung lugar ninyo. So that is social cohesion. We will be experiencing that, class, when you get to travel. Okay? Number 3, developing local cultural identity. Okay? So, the social benefits of heritage tourism are mostly derived from being part of a larger collective community. During vacations, people have time to interact with each other and socialize as opposed to their daily lives where they may be distracted or overly busy. These interactions help keep communities connected with one another and develop a local cultural identity. Studies have shown that belonging to a community provides mental health benefits such as increased self-esteem and decreased anxiety. Correct. Totoo yun, class, no? Um, Pag nararamdaman mo you are part of a community, if you feel that or if you realize, class, that you are part already of a bigger community, nagkakaroon ka ng sense ng ownership, no? And that ownership is part of local cultural identity na ako, ganito ako. For example, not all people are proud to be part of the indigenous of the indigenous tribe or indigenous community they came from. Like for example, mga Agta people. Some kasi may mga misnomer and mga misperception na pag galing ka sa tribal settlement, di ba yung iba pang grabing discrimination that they don't have the right to excel, they should be deserved only they should only be at the mountain areas, etc. No? But little these people, members of little or members of this indigenous community realize na they are very lucky to be proud of the indigenous communities who happens to be the original natives of the Philippines, no? Sila yung pinaka-original na naninirahan sa Pilipinas, no? So, instead na ikakahiya, 'di ba? Yung gobyerno natin talagang they are empowering, no, the indigenous communities to make sure that they take pride of their local cultural identity, that they take pride where they come from because these tribal communities is also part of heritage tourism and that it helps the community, it helps the city or municipality to grow economically and socially. But for the benefit of those indigenous communities, it allows them also to grow as a tribe, as a community. No? So iba yung nararamdaman mo, class, na meron kang identity, no? Meron kang parte ka ng isang komunidad. Sabi nga dito, 'di ba? Sabi, a study shown that belonging to a community provides mental health benefits, which is true. When you know that you are not alone, when you know that you are not the only one who happens to be experiencing a particular event or particular thing, parang tumataas din yung kumpiyansa mo sa sarili mo at nawawala yung anxiety mo na, nakakaya ng iba, bakit hindi ko kaya? Ito din yung pinagdadaanan ng iba and they overcome it. And I will also overcome that. So, this is basically why it's important to retain or to nurture local cultural identity. Going back, when you get to travel, class, when you go to Ilocos, when you go to Baguio, and when you go to Pampanga, if it happens that you get to encounter tribal communities, host community of the place, don't make them feel like as if pinandidirihan nyo sila. Huwag nyo iparamdam sa kanilang napaka-arte ninyo. Ganon, no? Bawal yun. Dapat, we make them feel that we are part of their community, no, that there's nothing to be ashamed of, that there's no reason for them to be embarrassed of where they come from because that's their identity. And as tourism management student, we need to support them. We need to make sure that they understand the value and significance, how substantial the impact of their community is when it comes to our industry. Okay, can I get a thumbs up for everyone if you get the point? Sana, no, lahat ay gawin natin yon, no? When we get